Have you ever wondered what you can and can't wear to a government building? You probably think of a dress code, maybe no shorts or flip-flops. But what about a full suit of shining plate armor? It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but believe it or not, there's a real law in the United Kingdom that specifically forbids it. This is the story of the Statute of Forbidding Bearing of Armor of 1313. Yes, you heard that right, 1313. This law is over 700 years old, and it's still technically on the books today. To understand why a king would pass such a specific law, we need to travel back in time, to a period of intense political drama and tension between King Edward II and his powerful and often rebellious barons. The early 14th century was a turbulent time in England. King Edward II wasn't the most popular ruler. His father, Edward I, known as Longshanks, was a formidable warrior king. Edward II, however, was a different story. He often clashed with his nobles, who felt he was incompetent and too easily influenced by his favourites, particularly a man named Piers Gaveston. The barons were not just grumbling in their castles, they were a serious threat. These weren't just wealthy landowners. They were military leaders with their own private armies. When they showed up for a meeting, they didn't come alone. They came with retinues of armed men, and they often wore their own armor. Can you imagine a parliamentary debate today where half the members are decked out in steel, carrying swords? It wouldn't exactly be a calm discussion. This is the context for the Statute of Forbidding Bearing of Armor. The king and his council were trying to de-escalate the situation. The presence of armed and armored nobles in Parliament was seen as a direct challenge to the king's authority. It turned political gatherings into potential battlegrounds. The law wasn't just about fashion. It was a desperate attempt to maintain peace and assert royal power. The statute itself is quite direct. It essentially says that people should not come to Parliament armed, or with force of arms, in a way that could disturb the peace. The goal was to ensure that debates and decisions could be made through discussion, not intimidation. By banning armor, the king was trying to level the playing field, making everyone vulnerable and therefore more inclined to talk things out rather than fight. Now, you might be thinking, this is a 700-year-old law. Surely it's not relevant anymore. Well, this is where it gets interesting. While you're unlikely to be arrested for trying to enter the Houses of Parliament in a medieval helmet, the law has never been officially repealed. It remains a curious piece of legal history that pops up every now and then. In fact, it has been referenced in modern times. In the year 2000, a historian and member of the House of Lords, Lord Sudilly, actually asked a question in Parliament about whether the statute was still in effect. He was assured that it was. The official government response was that while the law remains, it's generally considered that the good sense of the members of Parliament prevents them from showing up in armor. There's another famous story, though it might be more of a legend. It's said that in the 1980s, a historian who was newly elected as a member of Parliament wanted to make a point about another ancient tradition. He planned to enter the House of Commons wearing a full suit of armor and carrying a sword to challenge another MP to a duel, which was also technically still a legal right at the time. The story goes that he was stopped by the Sergeant-at-Arms, who cited the 1313 statute. This event supposedly prompted Parliament to finally abolish the right to trial by combat, but they left the armor law in place. So what does this all mean for us today? Mostly, it's a fantastic piece of trivia and a window into a very different world. It shows how our legal systems are built on layers of history. Laws are created to solve the problems of their time, and sometimes those laws hang around long after the original problem has vanished. The idea of a baron clanking into Parliament in full plate mail seems absurd to us. But in 1313, it was a genuine political and security concern. The statute also highlights the evolution of our political institutions. Parliament in the 14th century was a raw, often dangerous place. Today, while our politics can be loud and contentious, the disagreements are fought with words, not weapons. The ban on armor is a symbol of that transition from a feudal society, where power was demonstrated through military might, to a modern democracy, where power is exercised through debate and law. It also makes you think about what other strange, old laws might still be lurking in the legal code. In the UK, there are tales of laws about not handling salmon in suspicious circumstances, or it being illegal to be drunk in charge of a cow. Many of these are myths, but some, like the armor statute, are very real. They are fossils of a bygone era, preserved in the amber of our legal system. So, the next time you see footage of the UK Parliament, with its members in their modern suits, just remember that somewhere in the rulebook, there's a line that says they can't be wearing armor. It's a quiet reminder of a time when politics was a much more dangerous game. It's a testament to how far we've come, and a quirky, fascinating piece of history that's still, technically, the law of the land. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's weirdest laws, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the strange side of history. Let me know in the comments if you know of any other bizarre laws that are still in effect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.